Howdy, Ags, and welcome to On Air with Student Affairs, the podcast that showcases all the ways you can create your Aggie experience at Texas A&M. I'm Morgan Miles, and I'm your host, and I am the loudest and the proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2026, AAA. Whoop! And today we are talking with members of the Asian President's Council, the Hispanic President's Council, and the Black Student Alliance Council. And we're going to talk about Fusion Fiesta today. I'm super excited. So I'd love it if y'all could introduce yourselves and y'all's class year, major, and hometown. And we'll start with you.
Yeah, howdy. My name is Hannah Bang. I'm a senior business major from Flower Mound, Texas.
Howdy, my name is Mariajose Lascano. I also go by Maria or MJ. I am from McAllen, Texas, and I'm class of 2026, and I'm a hospitality, hotel management, and tourism major.
Hi, my name's Kimberly Gordon. I'm class of 2026. I'm from McKinney, Texas, and my major is early childhood education.
Awesome. So what are multicultural councils, and what kind of programming do the councils do for students here at A&M?
Yeah, so multicultural councils are basically what we have over here: Asian President's Council, Hispanic President's Council, and Black Student Alliance Council. We are basically like representative umbrella organizations for all the respective cultural organizations on campus. Mm-hmm. So for Asian President's Council, we are an umbrella org for, I think, 56 different APIDA organizations, and we try to basically cater towards making the environment best for the organizations to operate, but also serve towards the general public and make sure that the APIDA community has their space on campus. And I'm sure Hispanic President's Council and Black Student Alliance have their own ways of doing that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I've been with HPC since freshman year. And as like a freshman entering into A&M, this huge campus that like I didn't know anyone else that was going into this school when I first started. I was trying really hard to like where it would be best for me to fit in, especially in a campus where most of the people here like they don't look a lot like me. So I was also trying really hard to find that sense of community and that sense of like, I guess, belonging that I did feel back at home. So I found HPC with one of their events that they host yearly or like each semester, Bienvenidos a Aggieland, which is basically an on-campus open house for all of our Hispanic organizations. And we basically give them the opportunity to kind of promote themselves to the incoming freshmen each year. And that's what they did with me. They basically told me the opportunity of basically catering to all of these people and like our community and having the chance to not only know who my community is, but also work in terms of like marketing, logistics, outreach, and just learn all of those skills that could also help me in the future. But most importantly, like I stayed each time just because I felt so fulfilled with all the work that I was doing in this org, and seeing the change here and also in the local community, and just learned a lot about myself and the things that are going on within like I guess the Hispanic community here.
Nice. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your question was what are
multicultural councils, and what kind of programming do the councils do for students here at A&M?
Okay. So for me, this is actually my first year of being the president of BSAC, but I think we're sort of kind of like the voice because we are one of the minorities here at A&M. So being at a PWI, it's kind of hard to get lost in like not seeing, like she said, people who look like you.
Right.
And so I feel like BSAC kind of gave me that place where I see that there are things that could be different or that I could change. And so being able to have these connections with different people who are like in the higher ups, being on this board, feel like I can have a voice for all of the people who look like me. So.
Right. That's awesome. So are students able to get involved in councils at this point in the year? Or is there like a certain recruitment date? Or how does that work? And what does that look like?
Oh, okay. So for HPC, we have an initiative or more of like openings that happen each fall, which is our freshman internship. So we pick 3 freshmen to basically join the executive board in HPC, and they have the opportunity to learn, again, the skills such as marketing, outreach, logistics, most importantly, event planning. Which is something that we like to do a lot, and we do it for the general public, the students here. And we also like to do a lot of events locally, such as like in the Bryan area, depending on what we are celebrating in terms of like our cultural events. But yeah, so they have that position where they can shadow a specific board member and see what they like to do best. We have some board members who are, for example, working with like getting people to to get people in the student senate, so the spring and the fall semester. So like we have currently a political science major who is interested in that type of work, so they would most likely work with those board members. We have some people interested in event planning. They like to get quotes from people. They like to see like what kind of food they would like best. So those types of things. And it's very fulfilling just because they're also learning where they belong and learning more about their community while also making new friends and feeling like they're more like in college and they're getting that college experience as well. For like if they are not able to get that position, we also have something new called the HPC Event Committee, which if you're just interested in getting involved in our events, then you can join the event committee. It's ongoing. And it's really fun because I've met most of the people in there and they're really sweet. They really like to basically just show up and just show up for the community like each time. And then, of course, each spring semester we open new executive board applications, and that will be for like each new board as time goes on. So yeah.
Ours is kind of the same. For membership, we open it to everybody, anybody who wants to join. It doesn't matter if you are Black or not. We want everybody, but it is a majority of Black people, and you can join whenever. We welcome all at any time of the semester. If you wanted to get on the executive board, again, it would open up in the spring, and you would just go through that process. But yeah, we welcome all.
Awesome.
I would say the same thing in terms of like how membership works. We have 15 officers in our board, and we just onboarded 5 new interns who are freshmen, sophomore. And we also excitingly launched a new initiative called General Membership. So this is open to anyone. You don't have to be Asian to join. And we can have, well, if you are a part of the general membership, you can join committees. So we have an event planning committee. You can be a part of like a huge music festival or fashion show, event creation. You can be a part of the advocacy committee where you'll be taking part of like graphic design and designing like a magazine. So there's various ways you can be involved in APC.
I love that. So talk to me a little bit about Fusion Fiesta, because that's coming up, and that sounds exciting.
So I am the creative director for HPC, and for the longest time, I've really been like very interested in learning not only about my culture, which is me being Mexican American. I've been very much like involved with in my whole life, especially others around me. But I've also been interested in learning about other cultures, especially within my board and within my community, because a lot of people tend to think that, like Hispanic people or Latinx people are just Mexican, but we are very diverse. We are so much more than what people may think, especially since Latin America is so huge and like not everyone speaks the same type of Spanish. Not everyone eats the same. So whenever I first heard about Fusion Fiesta and what it has done in terms of showing different cultures to students here at A&M at such a vast scale, or a large scale, I guess. I immediately wanted to know how it was done and what it takes. So I first joined the committee my freshman year, and that year it impacted me a lot because I learned not only what it takes to create an event, but the thought of bringing so many organizations together that perhaps not a lot of people knew about until this event, and perhaps possibly showing them their new home or their new, I guess, their new place as to where they could feel like they belong, or a sense of community. I really enjoyed seeing all that. So what it basically is a huge event that is going to take place in Rudder Plaza November 7th from 6 to 9 p.m., where we will showcase a lot of organizations that are multicultural from a vast different majority of places. And they will be, They will be having some sort of cultural or traditional showcase in their table, where they will basically be teaching people or connecting with people from that same culture in order to just learn more and to kind of be more culturally, I guess, in the know. So our theme for this year is Heritage and Harmony, and we came up with it just because each year there has been a type of theme, and me spearheading it, I wanted to see that come into light this year especially, where basically they will be showcasing a type of game, showcasing a type of traditional clothing. It can be a painting, some sort of art or craft. And yeah, each organization will be in charge of basically showcasing a new part of their culture, where people coming in probably wouldn't have known before. And there will also be performances, some performances that I'm excited to hopefully see will be from a majority of different types of cultures, and we will have food as well. And as the one spearheading it, my goal is to show each culture equally, and for them to be more known after the event.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, so basically, Fusion Fiesta, to me, is our chance to educate Texas A&M, the community of Texas A&M, on different cultures, and just bring that sense of, my mind is blinking. Somebody help me. But just to show the public who we are. And yeah.
Like a sense of diversity?
Yeah.
Almost?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easily one of my favorite, or one of the highly anticipated events on campus, because it's an annual event where the three councils actually come together to work on a piece of masterpiece like this. So this is easily one of the hands down the go-to spot for getting all three types of different culture at once, and get to meet new people, different kinds of organizations, be exposed to different ideas and perspectives. And I always enjoy working with my cultural councils. So we always have a really fun time putting this together.
Yeah.
Awesome. So who can attend? Is it open to everyone?
Yes, it is open to everyone. We would like for everyone and anyone to come in and have fun, meet a lot of new people, like Hannah said, and get some free food, get some merch, watch some amazing performers, and to basically to get something out of it, whether you learn about a new game or a new celebration that a culture might partake in, or just to make a new friend and just exchange ideas. And of course, just to see the vast diversity that there is in A&M. And even though it may not be shown most of the time that they're there, and they welcome anyone who's willing to learn about them and to learn with them also.
Awesome. So how do you feel that celebrating the different cultures here at A&M unites the student body?
I would say, for me, culture has always been a very big thing just because it unites, obviously, like people that share the same values, the same traditions as me. But I also feel like there's a lot of similarities with my culture and other people's culture. And I think in that way, we're able to kind of unify together or like kind of connect with each other more in like a different level. Even though it may be very different from mine and theirs, like I feel like there's definitely like a common ground that we can agree with, or we're always like striving or working towards something that can benefit us both. So,
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah. How do you feel that celebrating the different cultures at Texas A&M unites the student body?
I think it's beneficial on both parts for us, like putting it together and then everybody else experiencing it. Because like she said, we are similar in some ways, but I've also learned many different things in the different cultures. But at the end of the day, like we're all like rooted from something. And so I feel like we get to bring out our roots and like show people who we are and what we are. And so I think that's what allows us to come together, because we're taking something from what is inside of us and
Yeah.
I would putting it out, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think culture is a big part of identity, and it makes us who we are.
Yeah.
And by kind of showing that and taking interest in other cultures and going, hey, like, show me your, the way you do your things, or what kind of days do you celebrate? You're getting to know more about them as a person, not just like what the culture is like. So it really creates a special kind of bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So earlier you mentioned the term PWI. Mm-hmm. Would you like to explain that for people that don't know what that is or what that means?
If I'm not mistaken, is it primarily white institution? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's, I feel like is what
pretty much what it
is. Just definitely being surrounded by a majority of the
white community.
Okay, yes, the white community. And so it's hard to like, because for so long I would like see sporadically spurts out like Black people. I'm like, hey, there's my people. But you don't see them in groups as much as you do. Like when you look all around you, you're gonna see a white person, And so I feel like when I mentioned that, it was just to talk about like it is kind of hard to like find your people if you're not asking the right questions or in the right place, or know where to look, or
yeah. And I think that's like our major mission as multicultural councils is, for me personally, is for them to not feel as lost when they first come in here. I've had a lot of instances where we would be tabling or promoting ourselves during like the fall semester, and we had a lot of like Hispanic students coming from like very large cities where they probably had like majority white high schools or like majority white students like be in their high school. And I would tell them about the events that we host, how we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, and how we also celebrate Day of the Dead, which is a very traditional Mexican event. And they look at me like very surprised, like they're like, "Are you serious?" Like I could not find any Hispanic students here when I first came in here, and I was like, "No, yeah, we're everywhere. Like I promise you. I know it may not seem like it, but there is community here." Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, in 2022, Texas A&M actually officially became a Hispanic Serving Institute, and HSI. So that means that 25% of the student body here at A&M is Hispanic or Latinx. And that's something that we always strive to communicate with new students or families, because I see sometimes the worry in their eyes whenever they feel like, is my son or daughter or is my child gonna potentially like lose their identity, or are they gonna be okay? Who's gonna look out for them? And that's why we work closely with our affiliated orgs in order for them to find their place no matter what they're interested in, whether it's something STEM related or if they want to hang out with people and make friends, we have something there for them.
Yeah. I will say, I think it is important to have councils like y'all's on a campus, and I get it, like, being at a PWI and, like, being a person of color, it's like you walk around and there's nobody that looks like me. It is like, ooh, like, not that that's, like, a bad thing, but just, like,
sure.
It's just how it is, you know? And it's, like, what you expect whenever you come to a PWI. And I think as, like, an African-American woman, like, it's harder because there's also, like, HBCUs, and, like, you see, like, you have friends that go to HBCUs, and it's, like, they don't have that issue. And it's like you go to a PWI and it's like you have that issue. And so I think it's super important to, like, recognize, like, that there are people here that look like you, and, like, you know, like, that's important, and, like, you are seen.
Yeah.
And even if they don't look like you, like, you're still seen
For sure.
and loved by those people.
And I think it was so hard for me to just come in and adjust because I came from a very diverse school.
Right. Me too.
And to come here and not know, like, what A&M provided, because I don't know if I missed out on it or it wasn't mentioned enough, but to then know that there is a community, that's the whole reason why we want to do this. For someone who wanted to get out and, like, talk, but was also really shy, and, you know, I wanted to, like, build that community with people who looked like me, but at the same time, I didn't know how to do that. So I also feel like that was another reason why I was so passionate about being on the board, to let people know who want to get out and make connections and talk to people and, you know, hang out with people that look like them, that they can do it, and they're, like, welcome, like, you know, so.
Right. I love that. So what has being involved with an event like Fusion Fiesta taught you?
I would say I have really wanted to be more of, like, a leader, especially being in a council like this. You kind of gradually build yourself up. So you start, like, I started as an intern. I basically just looked at people. I observed how they communicated with each other. I observed how they handled situations or when things didn't go their way, and see how they navigated that instead. And now being, I guess, the head of this event, it is my first time, like, I guess, leading and being part of, like, being in a leadership role. I would say communication is, like, the best thing for sure. And making myself open to literally anything. I always think of myself as a very open-minded person. I say, like, if I was, like, in a team and I was, like, doing something for someone else, like someone else being in a leadership position, I would like for them to be open to whatever ideas and to kind of not be stuck in, like, one thing, but to just be, again, more open to whatever is possible for it to be successful. So hopefully that's something that I've been doing, and to, of course, have them be in the know of, like, whatever changes, and for them to, of course, have fun, like, with it, and that they're also just as a big part of doing this event. Like, it's not just me. Like, I also want to take into account, like, everyone else, like, doing their part.
Right.
This is my first time being in a Fusion Fiesta committee, and I actually really learned a lot within, like, the 3 or 4 weeks we've met, because working in Asian President's Council, you work with your team members, but now you're working with people from HPC and BSAC. So I was really impressed by how MJ was really organized and putting forward, like, the meeting agendas. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is so nice. I should maybe lead my group this way. But aside from that, I am reminded of how important it is, like, the people who you work with in a team, because we are also, like, really busy students. We have, you know, other items in our agenda, and we are also like full-time students. We have classes, we're in our councils, but we are actually taking the time to dedicate our days into making this fiesta possible and, putting forward our passion of, making a community for people on campus into reality. So, like, even if everyone's super busy, they're willing to, like, have this meeting and get their tasks done on their agenda, which I think that's, like, super impressive. And I'm always, like, learning from them, like, how I can dedicate that extra time to doing something I'm passionate about.
This is also my first year of being a part of this. And so it's so funny. You like see, because I've seen it on campus before, but whenever you're on the other side and like with the planning, there's so much that goes into it. And so it's like every little detail matters. And so having MJ be the leader, like she's the perfect person for it. She's like detail oriented and she's always checking in to see if anybody needs help. And so it's really nice to, see that type of leadership and like want to be that for BSAC, and so that's what I've learned.
Y'all are so sweet.
I would like to say that I definitely took into account like the way that the president of my council leads, which is Leila Navarro. She's been such an amazing president. And we have definitely been, because she was also a freshman intern when I was one, we definitely took like inspiration from the past presidents. Who've also done a really great job, and we've also strived to be like them. So yeah, I really just would like to be just as organized, but also a really diligent person like they were. So yeah, hopefully I've been like that. And yeah, thank you.
I love that. So, are any of y'all involved beyond your council? Like, are you involved in anything else on campus?
I actually did just get involved into another Black student organization called Impact. It's a Christian Black student organization, and they meet on Tuesday nights for Bible study, and then they go to church on Sundays all together, then go out to eat after and talk about the message. So,
I love that.
For me, this is more of a social org. I really like K-pop. I've really liked it since I was in 7th grade. So I've joined the K-pop Dance Association. I know a lot of people tend to be like intimidated by the name, but because they think it's just like dancing, and they do have a dance crew, which is the Royal Aces, but I'm more of like the general side of it, where you come in every Friday in the Psych Building 106 from 6 to 7, and you have like this great group of people who like K-pop as much as you do. And we have a lot of, we have meetings where we play games, and they're games that are prepared by the what's it called? The executive team. And we also have events. I believe they just went to the Korean Festival this past weekend. They all went as a group, and Royal Aces actually performed in the festival. So that was probably very fun. And we're also having a field day next spring semester for sure. So yeah, that's something that I have taken into part, just to know as much people as I can. And yeah, just to make a lot of great connections throughout my time here.
Wait, that's awesome. I look forward to one of your performances. I love KDA, so this is like exciting news for me. I'm a member of the product management at TAMU Club. It's a professional organization trying to educate people more about the field of product management. I did my internship as a product manager, and I'm looking forward to, dedicating my career path into that role as well. So just wanted to delve a little bit more into that space.
I love that. So what has being involved taught you, and how has it prepared you for the future? Just like being involved in general.
I think being involved has taught me definitely a lot about time management. You can take all of the things that BSAC offers and like use them in like the real world, because like I've interviewed people for BSAC, positions, and I've had meetings, and I've planned events, and I've had to outsource it. And so I can just take all of this information that I have done on this smaller scale and then just put it into the real world. So
I love that.
I would say for me, it definitely helped me a lot with growing myself personally because I was not as involved in high school as I am now. I was very shy. I was very timid. I kind of just like kept to myself, but I really wanted it to be different when I first came here. And I'm really glad that I found an organization like HPC. So something that I really recommend for new students, and not just freshmen, just like anyone, honestly, is just to get involved as much as possible. Sure. I feel like I've been a lot happier, and I've also grown a lot of these skills that I mentioned, and I found like a new passion that I didn't know that I wanted to do, and I didn't think it was possible. But being here at A&M, like, it showed me that my ideas matter and the things that I have to say matter, and that changes definitely do start like if you kind of put like the first step forward.
Yeah, I would definitely attribute like 90% of my college success to being involved in campus because it not only made me grow as a person, but also as a leader. Just putting yourself out there in front of a bunch of people, doing things that you may have never thought of doing, putting yourself in that like uncomfortable space and just trying to grow from that. But also learning how to be a likable person, being loyal, how to navigate conflict. So many of those experiences just came from the campus organizations themselves. So yeah, I would not, have been the person that I am today without being involved.
I'm going to piggyback off of that because I was the opposite. I literally came in and like did not talk to anybody, went to class, came back. And so getting involved has definitely first, yes, taken me out of my shell because I say all the time, I'm like, freshman Kimberly would freak out. Doing this right now, freak out. And so definitely it's taken me out of my shell. And like to think that I'm leading people and they're following me, like that has changed in like confidence. I'm like, okay, it's on you. People are following you. You're giving them the okay, like, you gotta walk that walk. And so definitely taking that step and getting out there. Don't be like me. Okay.
I love this. This was such a sweet conversation.
This was so fun.
Thank
you for having us.
I love how passionate y'all are about making people feel included. And, like, that's exactly, like, what we want. And, like, that's the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah.
And, like, this whole movement of, like, creating your Aggie experience is so that people feel like they, like, belong and they have a place here. So I love that. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us about your councils and Fusion Fiesta. And I love that we have such a cool event that students can go to bring us all together.
Yes.
For everybody listening, definitely check it out. It's November 7th, 6 to 9 p.m. in Rudder Plaza. And for more ways to get involved with the Division of Student Affairs, go to text.ag/create your Aggie experience. Thanks and gig 'em.